hardcore. So he said, قال المؤلف رحمه الله رضي الله عنه عنكم وقد عز على بسيط الأرض وجود واحد من هؤلاء حتى لقد عزم جماعة من الأكابر أنهم مفقودون والحق أنهم موجودون ولكن قد سترهم الله برداء الغيرة وضرب عليهم بسرادقات الإخفاء لغفلة الخاصة وإراد العامة فمن طلبهم بصدق وجد في ذلك لم يعوزه إن شاء الله تعالى وجود واحد منهم. We read some of that last week, didn't we?
Yes, so that's the part we're up to.
Oh yeah, alright, so we continue then. فالصدق سيف لا يوضع على شيء إلا قطعها والأرض لا تخلو من قائم لله بحجته وقد قال عليه الصلاة والسلام لا تزال طائفة من أمتي ظاهرين على الحق لا يضرهم من ناوأهم حتى يأتي أمر الله.
Said the author, may God have mercy upon him and upon us. May God be pleased with you and us. May God benefit us and may God benefit us through him, inshallah. He said, sincerity is a sword that is never used against anything without cutting it. To be truthful, sidqu.
That's it?
Yeah, sidqu. No. The earth is never without those who uphold the matter for God. And the Prophet has said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a group in my nation will always exist, victoriously defending the truth, unharmed by those who oppose them, until the command of God arrives.
Alright, so in terms of the Prophet of Allah والسلام, and what he said to us and whatever we say, this is inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala stories, truth, realities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in terms of the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ulama said that kullu mu'minin wali. Every single mu'min is a wali of Allah. Because what is a wali of Allah? So let's talk about that now so that we can not get lost in terms of how the determination. So in terms of the wilayah, in terms of the of what a wali is, in terms of what a wali is not actually given to a person or wilayah. Wilayah is a status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So like, for example, if sisters, what's going on here? How come they sit here, please, in the future. Brothers start at the back. At the front, sisters start at the back. That's the sunnah always says. Sit here, please. Where's the Muhammad? He's gone. So in the future, try and fill the front. Just sit here. You guys are alright. Sit here, Khalid. It's no good to look at empty seats. Alright, so in terms of what the wali isn't a wali just because Allah, that's it, loves that person, full stop. As we said last week, that the wali has a particular role. The wali has something to do in life, something to fulfill in terms of the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in terms of the wilayah, it comes in two ways. It comes firstly from just like wurid and wiradat. Who remembers what the wurid is? Anyone? No. Yeah. What is it? All right.
Yeah, at the same time, 7 days.
Okay, for what reason? All right, to be close to Allah. So the word is a talib. It's a seeking from the individual to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Warada, and it's there. And from the root word of the Arabic language, warada, and warada, it's there. This thing was present. So in other words, it's our presence in that way with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And wiradat, who can remember what wiradat is?
gifts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon you.
Alright, it's the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a person. Exactly. So they're two opposite things, but they're the same. One is that a person's seeking with the word, presence with Allah, and the other one is with al-Haddad. Allah gives that person a presence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's presence is felt with that individual. And the wilayah is no different. The wilayah is no different. The wilayah is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a station to somebody whose deeds are pious and who's following the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're staying away from haram and they're doing everything as much as possible that's halal. So that's one way that a person is called a wali. That's a believer, a mu'min. The mu'min's going to do the wrong? Bismillah, no. If they do, they repent. So every...
Was that for Al-Haddad or Al-Haddad?
No, that's for wali.
Okay,
Alright, so wali is the person that works to and strives to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to do the things that Allah loves and to stay away from the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives that person a station, some sort of a station, and we'll talk about the different stations of the awliya inshallah. And then another one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs someone to fill a wilayah. So there's a station that's there. So Allah doesn't need, of course, Allah's ghani on these things, doesn't need, but we're just talking that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a station that He wants fulfilled. So, yatawalla, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevates a person. Of course, they have to be a mu'min already. Okay? And they may not be. Allah may guide that person to iman, guide that person to the good deeds, and then give that individual a wilayah. So really the same things to look at, the two different things to look at, two different ways to look at the same thing. And really if you look at them, it's Allah choosing a person. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives only tawfiq to those He loves. And in the Qur'an, يوفق الله وما توفيقي إلا بالله is Sayyidina Shu'aib. وما توفيقي إلا بالله, that's once it's mentioned, the word tawfiq. And ويوفق الله. Twice in the whole Qur'an is mentioned tawfiq. Once as the word tawfiq, the other one yuwaffiq. Whereas taqwa is mentioned hundreds of times. Iman mentioned hundreds of times. Iman, Islam mentioned 100. Even wilayah is mentioned a few times. But tawfiq is very precious. Only Allah gives that to the people that He loves subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright. Then we go to the maratib al-awliya. Look, there's a hadith that says, لله تعالى في الأرض 300 قلوبهم على قلب آدم. So there's 300 on earth that their hearts are like the heart of Sayyidina Adam. Then he says, وَأَرْبَعُونَ قُلُوبُهُمْ عَلَى قَلْبِ Musa. And then 40 of them, 40 of these people whose hearts are like their states, their souls, their spirits, are like that of Sayyidina Musa. وَلَهُ subhanahu wa ta'ala سَبْعَةٌ قُلُوبُهُمْ عَلَى قَلْبِ Ibrahim. And there's 7 of the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and chooses. Their hearts are like the hearts, or their states, their souls are like the state of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَخَمْسَةٌ قُلُوبُهُمْ عَلَى قَلْبِ Jibreel. And there's 5 of them. They made a movie about it. They called it Gabriel. Amazing how they make movies about all these things. Alright? There's 5 of them. They only made one in that movie. Alright? There's 5 of them. Their hearts are like that of Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam. وَلَهُ ثَلَاثَةٌ قُلُوبُهُمْ عَلَى قَلْبِ مِكَائِيل. 3, their hearts are like the angel Mikail. وَلَهُ وَاحِدٌ قَلْبُهُ عَلَى قَلْبِ إِسْرَافِيل. And he's got one that his heart is on the heart of Israfil. على نبينا وعليهم الصلاة والسلام. فإذا مات واحد جعل الله تعالى مكانه من الثلاثة وإذا مات من الثلاثة جعل الله مكانه من السبعة وإذا مات من الخمسة جعل الله سبحانه وتعالى مكانه من السبعة وإذا مات من السبعة جعل الله مكانه من الأربعين وإذا مات من الأربعين جعل الله مكانه من الثلاثمائة وإذا مات من الثلاثمائة جعل الله مكانه من العامة بهم يرفع الله عز وجل البلاء عن هذه الأمة. So the rest of it, so we said there's one like Israfil. Okay, so if that one dies, Allah takes from the other 3 and picks one of those, and then everyone goes up one spot. You with me? So there's the 347, 3, 1. So if one of the of the 3 dies, then Allah, sorry, there's 7 5. So there's one of the 5, they get elevated to one of the 3. One of those guys will become one of the 3. And then everyone else has to go up a notch. Someone of the others have to go up a notch as well. So those numbers are stable. 300, 40, 7, 5, 3, 1. Those numbers are stable because what do we say it is? It's a wilaya. It's a station. So those stations always don't change. And Allah chooses people to move into those stations when there's a vacancy. And then from the 300, if one of those dies, that Allah chooses someone from the ayan, from the general population, the general Muslims, mu'min, inshaAllah, to fill that position. And what does the hadith say? Bihim. Allah uses these people to lift the bala, the problems, the difficulties, the trials, the tribulations of the ummah of the Prophet of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam.
Today, those people generally know that they are.
Whoever's a wali knows is a wali. Whoever, there's some of them. Look, we're talking about the secrets of Allah. So some people they don't know, but the people who have this station, they got a job to do. Like we said, they got a serious job to do. They got things that they're responsible for. So they have to know what their job is. They have to fulfill that job. They have to fulfill as much and as to the best of their ability. So these people do know. These people do know. But once again, it's a secret, and unless you're one of them, can't tell. Then we go to what the Imams say about all these different things. So basically, they give a status. They give a status. So they say that the 300, they're the awliya. And the 70, they're the nakhaba, or nukhaba, which means they're the chosen. So 300 is the awliya. The 70 is the nukhaba or nakhaba, they're the chosen ones. 70, I must have missed it when I read it before, but there's the 70 in there. That's different. This is what the ulama say. This is not what the hadith says, or the salihin. Okay? There's 40, the awtad al-ard. Al-awtad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to the mountains. Can you sit next to someone so you can have a look at the book? Sit up here, please, if you don't mind. That way you can see the book at least and follow on what's going on. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to the mountains as what? Awtad. Awtad. In other words, they're firm pegs. And these people, they're 40, they're awtad al-ard. They're responsible. That's their job. They're making sure that the earth doesn't fall apart. Like, you see it in movies and games. It's true. It's true. There's nothing more amazing than the truth. No one can write a story that's more amazing than the truth. It just doesn't happen. They might get a Star Wars version of it and change a few things, but what? The Force, what's that? Allah. The Jedi Knights, what's that? The good people, they do amazing things, they're awliya. The other side, Shayateen, they do amazing things, they follow, what? It's all based on that. That's the best of the movies, Ben-Hur and the 10 Commandments, all these crazy things that people think, oh wow, but it's all based on truth, it's all based on fact, and most of it is based on religion. There's nothing more freaky and more amazing than the deen. That's it. It's the come from Allah directly. Of course it's going to blow people's minds. So, these people, awtad al-ard, they're 40, they do things. Okay? Then there's the nuqaba. The nuqaba, these are the selected ones as well. They're 10. There's 10 of those. And there's the urafa. You don't have to write this down. It's just so you know that these things exist. The urafa, they're the ones that know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's 7 of those. And then the mukhtarun, the ones that are specifically chosen. And then there's 3 of them. And there's the ghawth, or al-qutub. That's the top of the range. Number 1, top wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-ghawth is like the center part of an arch, the strongest part. That's called the ghawth. So that's where all the power is focused on. You guys,
Keystone.
The keystone. There you go. So that person, they're a complete personality. So also they call him the Khalifa of the awliya, also that, or her, as the case might be. So that there's things for you to think about, basically. And then when we talk about who knows, Fadala.
So can you just go through them again?
Yeah, it's the 300 is the awliya. Like I said, you don't have to write them down, but just so you know. And if you go and start talking, like we said, these things are secrets. If you go and start telling people, they're going to say you're crazy. They might even call you kafir or shirk or something. Yeah, they do. There's people out there. So, whatever. Al-Awliya, 300. Al-Nukhaba or Al-Nakhaba, they're 70. Al-Tad al-Ard, they're 40. Al-Nuqaba, which is the same as Nukhaba really. They're synonyms in the Arabic language. Naqib, Naqib. They're 10. Al-Arrafa, they're the ones that know Allah, they're 7. Al-Mukhtarun, they're 3. And Al-Qutub al-Ghawth is 1. So this is just a generalization. So like, who are the people that talk about these things? Sayyidina Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani. Everyone's heard of him, I imagine. Like he's like extra heavy duty.
I mentioned him a few times and stuff within the revision.
Oh yeah. Okay, so people like him. Who? Shaykh Ahmad al-Rifa'i. These are the people that talk about this stuff. These guys, they're the Ghawth and the Qutub. Shaykh Muhammad bin al-Arabi. Don't know much about him, but he wrote, they killed him, they said he's kafir.
Remember I asked that question, how he passed away?
Yeah, they killed him, they said he's kafir, because he had the people were worshipping money, and he said, your Lord is under my feet, and they said, astaghfirullah. They looked up under his feet, there was all the treasures there, so they killed him for nothing. Alright, so,
How about Bin Bayah?
I don't know, but I never heard of him. So these are the people that talk about that. But Abdul Qadir Jalani, Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jalani, what did he say one time? He said one time he gathered it with 110,000 of the awliya. So these are all secrets. 112,000, excuse me, of the awliya. So these are all secrets. And like we said, like for example, one of the mashaykh that we studied with, his Sheikh, his wife was sick and he went to the masjid. No, he was in his house, he was praying, he said, Ya Allah, what should I do for my wife's this, my wife's that, get her better. And then the ilham came, the inclination. Allah put an inclination, go to the masjid. Inside the masjid there's a little insect that's stuck in the wall, it can't get out. Get it out and your wife will get better. He went, they're telling us a story that his sheikh told him, and he got a little straw, stuck it in the hole, the thing came out, he went home, his wife was fine. It's the secrets. Who knows? Can anyone define the greatness of Allah? Who knows? We don't know. We just follow. Sami'na wa ata'na. Why is it getting complex? And there's no need for all that sort of stuff. He says we do. Khalas, it's over. It's simple. Now we want to get complex and where's your dalil and mabarif shu and this and that. Dalil for what, man? What one of these guys is like that. The brothers were telling him, the brothers are in Tabligh Jama'ah, they were Khuruj fi Sabilillah. And we were with them, and they saw this bloke who's really muta'assib, dalil, this and that. And anyway, he goes, what's your guys' dalil that going Khuruj and all that's good? And they go, you can't talk to people like that. They asked me, I was like, I know nothing about nothing, bro. Ask someone else. So he went and asked, and he came and he's like, nah. Anyway, he slept that night, he came and he saw in his dream the Prophet of Allah ﷺ. And the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said to him, you should go khuruj. And he said, what's your dalil? He came, he was telling us. I just got away from the guy. I don't want to talk to the guys, leave me alone. Whatever you want to do. Asking the Prophet of Allah. He said it with his own mouth. He said, when the Prophet said that, I said, what's your dalil? Mahrumeen. These people, they're mahrumeen. They're not going to get what Allah has given. It's a true story, bro. Oh, you think, how does someone do that? He's telling you, the Prophet, that's it. Sami'na wa ata'na. There's no room for me in this equation. There's no room for me. The order of Allah comes, we do. It's simple. And that's Islam. That's the meaning of Islam. To surrender oneself to the order of Allah. To surrender oneself to what the Prophet of Allah said, what he said to do. And then the dalil these guys use, وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُوَ. And Allah says it straight out. Nobody knows the soldiers of Allah, junud, that's what jund means, but except Him. Well, you're going to try and tell me it's not this and it's this. What's it to you? What's it to you how Allah uses, how did the Badawi become Muslim? the Badawi, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the Bedouin, he says, oh, bear witness that I'm the Rasulullah. Allah, what are you talking about? To the Prophet of Allah ﷺ. Is what are you talking about? Look how simple the guy is. And then he had the goanna and it was dead. And he said to the Prophet of Allah, the guy goes, what's your proof? He said, the Bedouin goes to the Prophet and said, what's your proof? He said, oh, this goanna. And he looked at him and he said, who am I to the goanna? And he said, you're the Prophet of Allah. The goanna, the goanna gave him da'wah. The dead goanna, mind you, gave the guy da'wah and he became Muslim. What is it? What? No, we don't want. It's a hadith. It's in Bukhari Muslim, so you have to accept it. You can't go around that, And look, we were talking about this today actually. Is there a book more sahih than after the Qur'an than Bukhari? There isn't. Does anyone have any ikhtilaf, any difference of opinion over Bukhari today? No. Imam Bukhari in his time, he couldn't go to a town except there was ikhtilaf or they just didn't want him in the town. Imam Bukhari, in his time when he was living, if he went to a town or a city, they'd say, well, hold on. If a difference of opinion, they make ikhtilaf. And then he'd leave. The ulama, the salihin, the awliya, they don't stay in a place where they're the cause of fitna directly. They don't stay in a place where they're the cause of fitna, because now people there's disagreement. Should we keep him? So he would move on. Or then he'd go to another town or city and say, nah, we don't want him in here. Get out. This is Imam Bukhari. And where did he die? He died in some little two-bit town that no one even knows of, never heard of before or since, except that Imam Bukhari died there. So this is Imam Bukhari, where no one, this is the Shia agree, this group agrees, that group, everyone agrees that khalas, his book's after the Qur'an. But in his time, they didn't accept him. He was a fitna wherever he went. Or they just said, get out. One of the two. So, strange are the people of Allah. Strange are the people that follow the Prophet of Allah. And he said, Tuba al-Ghurabat. That's strange, isn't it? Now that we think back. But at the time, he's this Bukhari, he's nobody. And that's generally what happens to the great ulama, that in their time, they just go through trials and tribulations, and then when they pass, people go, oh, wait a minute, that was somebody. And that's why the Imam, he says, li ghaflatil khassa wa i'radil 'amma. We didn't read that last week.
How do you get that?
Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covers these people and keeps them secret. Why? Because the specific people, in other words, the top notch, the head honchos, the rah-rahs, right? They don't want to accept that so and so is close to Allah. Well, closer than me? Don't you know who I am? I'm so and so. This is my position. I have this many people that pray behind me. I have this much money. I have this much connections. Who is this person? And that's when you know that someone. Unfortunately, what he's talking about here is the rulers and the other imams and ulama. So when you hear the sheikh say, who's that bloke? Who to do this? Who are you to say that? Who are you to say that? And unfortunately, misfortunately, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps these people secret, because if we bring them out, then these people would... What happened to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal? Any ikhtilaf about him today? Madhab al-Hanbali? Oh, the Imam locked him up, the Khalifa bashed him, whipped him, tried to pull his clothes off and tried to expose him when he was naked, and he made dua and his clothes didn't fall off. He pulled off his clothes and his clothes didn't fall off. Yeah. He jailed him, didn't allow him to teach. This is who? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Does anyone have any ikhtilaf over him today? No. There's no ikhtilaf. There's no difference of opinion. There's no, oh, we don't want him, we're not interested in him. There's none of that. In his time, he couldn't go anywhere and he couldn't do anything because the Khalifa said, nah. Who are they? The khassa. They're the special people. What does it say in English?
The elite.
Okay, the elite. The top notch, the head on, as we said. Then there's the i'rad al-amma. The amma, they're not interested. Wali, bro, what are you talking to me about wali for, bro? I wanted to get a new car. I need to find a new house. My shoes are last year's. I need to get the new shoes for this year. They're not interested. They're not interested. So why is Allah going to let someone who's a wali of Allah show up somewhere and shine when no one's going to be interested? They're saying they're not interested in Allah. Allah doesn't allow that for himself, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when there's the talab, and that's what he says later on, He said, فَمَنْ طَلَبَهُمْ بِصِدْقٍ وَجَدَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَمْ يَعُوزَ. What's it in English?
He will not fail to find.
فَمَنْ طَلَبَهُمْ بِصِدْقٍ.
However, those who seek them with sincerity and zeal will not, by God's will, fail to find one of them.
Okay? You got to seek it out. You can't kick back. No one in the history of humankind has kicked back and become successful. Nobody. Doesn't happen. They have to strive. Even the dhulm, even the zalimin, even the oppressors, they got to do things and make groups and plans and take and bring and this and that so they can oppress people. So if you truly want to find them, two things. You've got to believe. Sidq. Got to believe. And you've got to be truthful in your quest, and you've got to have a quest. So truthfulness in one's quest, I suppose, is a good way to put it. You've got to seek them out. You've got to look for them. You've got to try and find them. And they could be wearing Adidas pants and look like a junkie, hey? Like we said last time. I don't wear Adidas anymore. Whatever, dry fit hat and have tattoos, maybe, maybe not. You don't know. Because Bishr al-Hafi, he used to have dance parties at his house. Everyone's going off. Women playing games, this, that. One of the Salihin, he went knocked on his door, said a couple of words to him. Allah put it in his heart. That's it. His name's Bishr al-Hafi. He went, no more shoes. When he got Hidayah, he had no shoes on. He said, that's it, I'll never put in. That's his own thing. You can do, not do. And that's it. What about one of the greatest books ever written on the Prophet of Allah, Ash-Shifat, Al-Qadi Iyad? He was a full gangster, hardcore styles, you know. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. He was full hardcore. And he was jumping on the big wall to go rob someone. And then they said, you're finished, man. The mother was saying to her kid, you're finished. You're going to end up in Jahannam like Bishr, like Iyad. He freaked out. He woke up to himself. He became one of the, and he was about 25, 27. He became one of the greatest of all of the awliya. So, we don't know. We don't know, especially today's day and age. The ones who are lost, they're lost. And the ones who are on the path, we don't know. So, that's why you got to have sincerity in seeking these people out. And then someone might have a gift in one particular factor in life. You don't know what it is. Someone might have a gift, just one gift. They're an average person, and they have one gift. They can see something that no one else can see. They know something else no one knows. We don't know. So you will find, insha'Allah ta'ala, وَجَدَ وَاحِدٌ مِّنْهُمْ. Insha'Allah, a person will find at least one of them in your lifetime. Okay? And I think we read, فَالصِّدْقُ سَيْفٌ لَا يَضِيعُ لَا يُوضَعُ عَلَى شَيْءٍ إِلَّا قَطَعَ وَالْأَرْضُ لَا تَخْلُو مِنْ قَائِمِ اللَّهِ بِحِجَّةٍ وَقَدْ قَالَ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ. So, the truth, the safe, in other words, the sword of truth, we can read it in English if you don't want.
Yeah. Sincerity is a sword that is never used against anything without cutting it.
So, that truthfulness, it's powerful. It's powerful. But guess what? The people that are truthful, people think they're crazy. People think that people who are truthful are crazy. This guy, bro, he's lost it. He's off his, off chop. The guy's off his chops, whatever. He's gone. He's got no idea. And what did the Prophet say? He said, make dhikr until people say you're crazy. Remember Allah till you get to the point where people think you're loopy, nuts. So that's why the sidq is the important thing. Like say for example the Shaykh who had to go and get the little bug out of the wall. Imagine if he started saying, oh look, I'll get in this feeling to other people that if I get the bug out of the wall, my wife's going to get better. What's the matter with you, bro? Are you normal? Just make dua, bro. But because he was truthful, that's the secret. This could be for you, could be for me, and we can't go around telling people. It's the secret. The truth is for you, and it's a reality for that individual, maybe not for everybody else. That it's a sword that it doesn't touch anything, or if it's not placed, if it's placed on anything, it'll cut it. That means truthfulness will overcome any obstacle. Truthfulness will overcome any obstacle. And that's why, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? مَعَ الشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصِّدِّقِينَ وَحُسْنَ أُولَئِكَ رفيق وحسن أولئك رفيقا. Allah mentions them, the Siddiqeen. They got a special status. They're on their own. They're their own category. Two people. Two main ones. Al-Shuhada. Why? Because they give their life for Allah. Siddiqeen, because they live their life for Allah. Al-Nabiyeen wa Husna. That's the best gathering. They're the best friends. They're the best hangout. They're the people you best hang out with. So the Siddiqeen, they don't care. Abu Bakr, he came, he said, I'll give everything for the Prophet. What'd you leave for your family? I left Allah and His Rasul. Crazy! He's off his head. What's the matter with this guy? Gave all his money. Why did he doesn't have to give it all. He can just give 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50. Why does he give? He's nuts. He's a Siddiq. The Prophet of Allah went Isra, went Mi'raj. They came, who'd they see? The dopey, the kuffar. He went to Jerusalem. He went up to past the last lote tree. He went past all the blocks and the hijabs to Allah, and he went to Allah and he saw Allah. He sat with Allah. Tahiyyatu lillahi. He said to him, alayhi salatu wasalam. And then he came back and he started describing Jerusalem, and the kuffar were making fun of the Prophet. This is in Mecca. They're making fun of the Prophet of Allah. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Who'd they have to bump into? Abu Bakr. They go, your mate reckons he went to Jerusalem and then went somewhere else in the one night. He goes, is that what he said? They go, yeah. He goes, yeah, then he went. There was no Boeing 747s and Lee jets and whatever else back then. How'd he do it? Went and came one night. And he was even saying that when I came back, my bed was still warm. So it was even quicker than that. They asked who? The Siddiq. He didn't even think twice about it. He just confirmed it. Is that what he said? They go, yeah, khalas. Khalas. There's no need to dalil and mab'arif shu and when and what, how and what temperature, what altitude did he fly at, how many kilometers an hour did he go. There's none of that. No necessity. Because he's what? He's truthful. He knows what he believes and he sticks to it. Never wavers. Allah yaj'alna minhum. وَالْأَرْضُ لَا تَخْلُو مِنْ قَائِمٍ لِلَّهِ بِحِجَّةٍ.
The earth is never without those who uphold the matter for God.
What does it say for what?
The earth is never without those who uphold the matter for God.
In Arabic it's a lot more potent than that. But the earth is never free from those.
No proof.
Can you repeat the Arabic, please?
وَالْأَرْضُ لَا تَخْلُو مِنْ قَائِمٍ لِلَّهِ بِحُجَّةٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't leave, if you want to put it in the English context, does not leave the earth free from the people who are standing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with backup, basically, from Him. Because Allah backs, there's always people that Allah's backing up on earth. Always. Doesn't leave, because otherwise the earth is going to fall apart. What for? It's going to go. When the deen goes, when there's no one on the earth saying Allah, Allah says that's enough. At the end of times, what for? There's no use for the earth anymore. There's no more deen. The earth's spirit is dead. When the spirit of us is the opposite. Our body dies, our spirit goes. The earth, the spirit of it is the deen. Knowing Allah. Once there's no one knowing Allah, so what's it for? What's the earth for? Allah created it so that people can know Allah. Once there's no one left to know Allah, it's not going to be revived because there's no more prophets to come, no more angels, no more books, no more revelations. That's it. It's not worth anything anyway, except for the deen and the people that Allah loves that are on it. And he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, لا تزال طائفة من أمتي ظاهرين على الحق لا يضرهم من ناوأهم حتى يأتي أمر الله.
A group in my nation, the Prophet ﷺ said, a group in my nation will always exist, victoriously defending the truth, unharmed by those who oppose them, until the command of God arrives.
What does it say in Arabic? It says, ظاهرين, they're obvious to those who know what to look for. Those who are truthful in their quest. Truthful in their quest to find them. Isn't that what everyone's searching and striving? Oh, how's things? Oh, yeah, good. How's work? Yeah, just trying to get ahead. Of what? Of who? But what is it? They're trying. They're striving. Everyone's striving for something. They're striving to get a gold medal at the games, Olympic, whatever, winter games. They're striving to find this woman. They're striving to find this man. They're striving to buy this thing. They're striving to join this group. They're striving to be accepted. Everyone's striving for something. Everyone's out there. So these people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, they're zahireen. They're out there. Clear. Prophet mentioned, alayhi salatu wasalam, ala al-haqqi la yadurruhum man nawa'ahum hatta ya'ti Allah. The people who discard them and disregard them, they don't affect these people. So what? Allah's given the person something. What does he care what everyone else? She care what everyone else says. What does that individual care? Doesn't care at all. Why should they care? Ulaika nujumul ardi, ya Allah.
These are the stars of the earth.
Alright? Stars of the earth to who? Allah and the angels. Like we see the stars, they see these people. وَحُمَّالَ الْأَمَانَةِ,
The carriers of the trust.
Alright? These people, Allah uses them to make sure things operate as Allah wants it to operate. Who's in charge of the rains? Who's in charge of the rains other than Allah? Which one? Come on, man. Yeah, Mikael. How many of them are there? So do you think the people that they're not in charge of the rains? They are. Isn't it on the heart of Mikael? Yeah? They're out there. That's their job. The rahmah is gone. These people are gone. Okay? They hold the amana. They carry the amana. They fulfill the trust. وَنُوَّابُ الْمُصْطَفَى صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَعَلَى آلِهِ وَصَحْبِهِ وَسَلَّمَ.
The deputies of the chosen one.
Alright? That's their job. They follow in his footsteps, alayhi salatu wasalam. وَوَارِثَةَ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ.
And the heirs of the prophets.
So they inherited what the prophets gave and their job to come. What do you think? The prophet, what did he say? If he said, if it wasn't for the dua of my brother Sulaiman, I would have got the shaitan and would have put him in the masjid and tied him with a rope. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? It's in his hand, he's telling us, alayhi salatu wasalam. He's letting us know what Allah's given him. But without looking for the right thing and having a heart to understand, oh yeah, tied him up in the mosque. Doesn't make sense. It's just plain, without understanding the deeper meaning. Radiyallahu anhum ورضوا عنه أولئك حزب الله وأولئك حزب الله, not that حزب الله, ألا إن حزب الله هم المفلحون. Doesn't it say that there?
God is well pleased with them and they are well pleased with him. Those are the faction of God. Indeed, the faction of God are those who will succeed.
They have to. Allah's chosen them. Allah's given them a job. Do it. Alright? So someone asked a question today about Valentine's Day and what the whole deal with it. I mean, like these things, when we look at the culture that we live in, they come from the asl of the Yahud and the Nasara, from the Judaic religions, or the Judeo-Christian tradition. And if you look at it, the Christian tradition in particular, why is it called the Roman Catholic Church? What's it got to do with Rome? Well, later on, after a few hundred years after they started bashing, murdering, raping the Christians, throwing them to the lions for entertainment, they said, oh mate, this is not that bad. Oh, the Christian faith was spreading strong and there was too much tension, so they said, let's call a treaty. We'll accept some of your things, you accept some of our things. They said, St. Paul came in and he said, yeah, no worries, that's good. They mixed it all up. They came up with Christmas, they came up with the Trinity, they came up with St. Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was a pagan tradition in the Roman thing. Between the 13th and the 15th, is what they said, on the 13th, slaughter dogs and goats, and then the women would line up, the young women, and they'll belt them with the blood of the goats and the dogs because they believed that it made them fertile. Then they'll shackle them to some bloke and they disappear for 2 days. They come back after 2 days, either they continue on with their marriage or whatever it is, or they don't. And then later on, in the 3rd century, one of the Caesars, he killed two dudes named Valentine. Even the Catholic Church doesn't know. If you look it up, go to their website, they don't know. Did he exist? Didn't he not exist? Whatever. They stuck it together. Then later on in the 6th century, those celebrations were still going on because it was just about drinking, getting drunk, and fornicating. Going to get rid of a celebration like that? They're loving it. So what happened was the Pope, this in the 6th century, he joined them together because there was 2 Valentines saints that were killed on the 14th of February, and that festival went 13th to 15th of February, join them together. Guess how much it makes every year now?
700 million.
More than that.
Billion.
They're saying 18, 20 billion worldwide. So it's good for business. Good for business.
But that's actually haram for us.
Of course. Look at the basis of it. It's a pagan celebration. They slaughter dogs. We don't do that anyway. Goats maybe. And they put the blood and they go into their shacks or houses and fornicate. They just shackle a woman. All the women lined up. This is what they used to do in Rome. Rome was full of orgies and pedophilia and whatever else. So when they talk about someone's a pedophile, I mean, the whole society is based on pedophilia. It's what used to, orgy, that word, where does it come from? It comes from the Romans. They decided, it's good. The rich people get together and they get young boys, they're not interested in girls anymore because the fahsha, their indecency has gone beyond the stage where the desires can be fulfilled by normality. It has to become indecent. That's the fahsha. And once it becomes indecent, then it starts to get pleasurable again. That's why the Prophet said, there's a hadith, if a man copulates with a goat, kill them both, or any sort of a beast. The Prophet said it. I'm not making it up. He said it, alayhi salatu wassalam. Yeah, I know it's all freaky and we talk about freaky stuff, but that's our world. That's the world we live in. And if you said it 1400 years ago, it means someone must have got caught doing it. True or not true? Why is he talking about zina? Because people were doing it. Homosexuality, because people were doing it. All the other things that are going on, because people were doing it. That's the world. That's how human beings are. There's no utopia. Utopia is when we go to Jannah, inshallah. Here, it's a struggle. It's a test. People do it. People fall into it. They asked him, Ya Rasulullah, some say da'if, whatever. Does the mu'min fornicate? Yeah, it happens. Does the mu'min steal? It happens. The mu'min drink? It happens. Does the mu'min lie? No. So, for us, what did he say, alayhi salatu wassalam? And we think it's not the case. We think that Allah mentions in the Qur'an the Jews and the Christians so we can laugh at them. The Jews, they're so dumb. The Christians, they're so dopey. That's not the reason they're in the Qur'an. They're in the Qur'an so we know that, didn't they have a book? Yeah, they did. Didn't they have a messenger? Yes. Didn't he teach them? Yes. Didn't they have the awliya? Yes. Didn't they have the salihin? What's the difference? Didn't they have the hadith? Yes. What? They fell apart. Well, we're not going to fall apart. How many? They're only going to be 71 factions, the Jews. And the Christians, 72. How many are? Bid'an wa sab'in. Who knows? 73, 75, 77. More! So why do we think we're better than them for? Why do we gloat? They're finished, bro. We're going Jannah. They're saying the same thing. Why? So we can learn. So we can learn not to fall into the same traps that they're falling into. So the Prophet said that you would follow them even if they went into the grottiness of the lizard hole. And it's funky and it stinks. One time we smelt it. We were driving on the freeway 100 kilometers an hour. I've told you the story before. And we just flew by and the stench stayed for a minute or two. It was unbelievably bad. So imagine going down there. But we're following him. What do you mean? What? She comes home. You didn't give me anything for Valentine's Day. I'm upset. Well, you and this, and I don't know, and it's not, you're not getting in, and mabar shu, and why? Why? And the brother, he should wake up to himself too. Probably she's upset, and probably she's got it right, because all year the guys are half asleep. Wake up to yourself. Make sure, organise something before Valentine's Day, something after Valentine's Day, not by a day, by a week. And it should be all the time, regularly. It should be serenading your wife. She's not your wife, she's your girlfriend, stay away from her. If you're not married to her and you haven't got a contract that says you're in, stay away from her. Don't get involved. If you have, make sure she's happy. Look after her. Treat her with gentleness. It's not me, I'm not saying that. The Prophet said, they said the best of you. You want to be the best? Be the best to your wife. It doesn't take much. It's not with women, it's about scoring points. So if you spend $150 or $200, it's not nothing these days. $1,000, $10,000 and you buy one diamond ring, how many points is it worth? Sisters, how many points is it worth? They're not going to say because they don't think it's true. It's worth 2 points. 2 points. One for the ring and one because you made an effort. What if you went and you wrote on a piece of paper, I love you, and you put it in a purse? How much is that worth? 1 point. It's worth 1 point. So if you do that once on a Monday, then once on a Friday, how many points you got? 2. It does make a difference, bro. I can guarantee you it does. You're not doing it properly, brother. Talk to me later or send me an email and I'll fill you in. Alright?
That's not in general, that's all.
Diamond ring is worth 2 points. You worked and you struggled and this and that. 2 notes, I love you. This is worth a free kiss or something. A little bit of paper chucked in the thing. It's worth 2 points. But what's the difference? Consistency. Istiqamah. You have to do it all the time. All the time, bro. You can't say, oh, yeah, but last week. No, brother. Doesn't cut it. But last month. No, it doesn't work. But last time I got you a BMW 745i. No, that's 1 point. 1 point, bro. It's all. So be smart. Be smart. Get little things that to you and me, they don't have much significance. But to her, they have a huge amount of significance. So if you want to make sure you don't get in trouble on this day, that's what you got to do. Anyway, it's way past Maghrib, so if you want to make adhan.
Quick question, Papa. Today everybody's saying like, we following Qur'an and Sunnah. And sometimes I come across a lot of argument as well. Because majority of the people saying we following Qur'an and Sunnah and we're going to go Jannah. Why there's so many people is like stick upon it, they're saying we are right, the rest is wrong.
Well, that's nafs. Really, if you want to go down to the base of it, why am I right and this person's wrong? What did the Prophet say? He said, what's ikhtilaf al-a'imma? Ikhtilaf al-ulama? It's rahmah. Why you think they didn't have difference of opinion? Why you think they didn't have difference of opinion? Why you think they didn't